everyone! So today I will be showing you how to create this really cool Vortex bracelet. Now this bracelet I will be showing you how to make it on the monster tail today. However, I do have a tutorial for this bracelet on the Rainbow Loom as well. So if you do not have a monster tail and you want to see how to make it on a Rainbow Loom, click on the link in the description box and it will take you to a tutorial. So anyways, now without further ado, let's get started. And sorry if you just heard background music, someone is running upstairs. So today you will need a monster tail, and like I said in the beginning, I do have a tutorial for this bracelet that uses a rainbow loom or any other type of loom, so if you do not have a monster tail, then please go check out that video. The link should be in the description box below. You will also need a hook and as many rubber band colors as you'd like. Today I will be using white and rainbow colors, and for this bracelet I used approximately 110 bands, so that's kind of a ballpark estimate of how many bands would go around your wrist. So anyways, now without further ado, let's get started. So for this bracelet, I'm going to use two different kinds of bands, I guess you would say, and I have different names for them. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you the names that I have called them, just so that way during the learning process this is a little bit easier for you. So the clear bands here I will be calling the outside bands, or the vortex bands. And then the bands on the inside, which on this bracelet are the rainbow bands, these will be called the inside bands. So just a little bit of terminology for you guys, so that way you can kind of remember those names in your head, which will help you remember the process a little bit easier. But for my bracelet today that I'll be making, I'll be using white as the inside and then rainbow as the outside, or vortex bands. So match up your colors to whatever position you would like them to be in. So first I'm going to start out with my fuchsia bands, and these are going to be my vortex bands, and we're only going to be using these 4 pins here. So I'm going to go from the top left to the bottom right and twist it in a figure 8 and do the same thing again. So it's kind of the start of like a double cross fishtail or single, so you should twist them in the center like that. And now we are going to add on one of our inside bands. So for this, you're not going to twist it, you're just going to go diagonally, and we're just going to go to the right. And now we're going to twist it, but we're going to use our hook to twist this. So I will zoom in a little bit here. But first we're going to go on the side that's kind of on top of the other, so the left side. And you're going to pull it back across the right side of the band here, and you're going to place it onto the bottom right pin, but you're going to twist it when you put it on. So just twist it as you put it on, like that. So you should get something like that now. Now you should have this tiny little triangle here, and you're going to go inside and grab this band here. So grab that band, and we're going to twist it onto the top left pin. So just twist it again. Man, I cannot talk today. Like that. So you should have this kind of swirly square. And if you have to twist all the ends one by one just by hand, it doesn't matter how you twist the bands as long as they get twisted like that. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add one more set of bands on. So we are going to push the white bands down, or the inside bands, and add our next layer. So now we're going to take a single band and go diagonally, and go diagonally again. So you should get something like this now. And now we're going to hook all of the stitches on the pins. Now, since we are hooking outside bands, as you can see, or vortex bands, we are going to do inverted fishtail stitches. So I'm going to go to this left pin here, go inside the white band, and grab the bottom band and hook upwards. So go inside the second layer, grab the bottom layer, and hook that over the pin and release. So you should get something like that now. And now we are going to turn our monster tail around, so that way this kind of red dot is on the left side. And now we're going to do another inverted fishtail stitch on both of the pins. What I like to do is just grab the second band and turn my hook so that way it goes inside. And then grab the bottom layer and hook that over. And do the same thing again. Grab inside and then go round and release like that. So now you should have something like this, and the red dot should still be on the left side of your loom. And so last time we added on the top were the outside bands. The outside bands are always going to be in an X. Now we're going to add on inside bands. Inside bands are always going to be as a square. So you're going to put these as a square here. So you should get something like this now. And that's all we have to do for the inside bands, just a square around those 4 pins, and we're now going to do the hooking process. Every time we hook the inside bands, we are going to just hook the bottom layer over, so just kind of like a fishtail's hooking process. So I'm just going to grab the bottom layer, which for me is going to be white, but it should be your inside bands, and grab that, pull over the pin and release. Grab the bottom band, pull over, and release that. So once you're to this point, I'm going to turn my loom around, or monster tail around, so that way the dot is now on the right side. And we're now going to do the hooking process again. Remember, we're still hooking the inside bands, so you're going to grab the very bottom layer, hook upwards and over, and it'll show you top view. Grab the very bottom layer, hook that over, and release. So you should have something like this now. So last time we added on one of the inside bands that was in the shape of a square. So this time we're going to add on our vortex or outside bands. So these are the bands that are going to be in an X shape. So again, you're going to start top left and go to the bottom right. And do the same thing again, but to the opposite side. So you should have an X like this now. And now we're just going to continue the hooking process. Now remember, every time we hook a vortex band or an outside band, there's 2 names for that, I guess, we're going to do inverted fishtail stitch on all the pins. So go inside the second layer, grab the bottom layer, and hook that up and over the pin. Do the same thing to the other pins. Go inside the second layer, grab the bottom layer, and pull that over and release. Now we're going to turn our monster tail around, so that way the red dot is on the left, and do the same thing again. Inverted fishtail stitches on both pins, like that. So now I'm going to do kind of a review of what we just did. So every time we put on outside bands, they're going to be in an X shape. Or vortex bands. Just remember, vortex ends in an X, so you're going to put the bands in an X shape. And so then every time we hook vortex bands, we are going to do inverted fishtail stitches. Then we're going to put on our inside bands. Inside bands are always going to be in a square shape around all 4 pins, and it's just going to be one single band that goes around all of them. Every time we hook one of the inside bands, we're going to do a regular fishtail stitch, which means we're just going to pull the bottom layer over. So now we are going to be doing an inside band. So put it in a square, and now just hook the bottom layer over on all the pins. Like that. Turn your monster tail around, grab the bottom layer, hook over and release, bottom layer, hook over and release. So you should see your bracelet starting to emerge. If you'd like, you can just stick your hook in all those bands there and give it a little tug, just to make sure that everything is going all right, and so that way you can see kind of a glimpse of what your bracelet's going to look like so far. So basically this is kind of what mine looks like. And at first it might look like a weave-tastic bracelet. If any of you have made that bracelet, I do have a tutorial for that on my channel. But anyways, we are not learning that bracelet today. We are going to be continuing on with our bracelet now. So last time we put on one of the inside bands, so we're going to put on a vortex band now. So remember, vortex bands are always in an X shape. And now we're going to do inverted fishtail stitches. So go inside the pin, second layer, and grab the bottom layer. Inside the second layer, grab the bottom layer. So you should get something like that now. Now turn your monster tail around and do the same thing. inside the second layer, go grab the bottom layer, and hook upwards and release. So you should get a bracelet like that. So at this point I'm going to go a little bit faster now, and then I will eventually just stop filming so that way we can both finish our bracelets separately, because filming would take forever if I did it on camera. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go, like I said, a little bit faster. So we just put on X bands, vortex bands, and now we're going to put on inside bands, which are in a square shape. Like that. And remember, every time we hook the fishtail, fishtail style, we will be doing the square bands. So, like that. So you should have now hooked over all of the white bands, like that. So we can still kind of start to see a little bit better how our bracelet is going, and I am loving how this looks so far. So we're going to continue again. Now we're doing vortex bands again. And so let's see, what color am I doing? Green now. So red dot should be on the right. Make an X, like that. And now do inverted fishtail stitches on all the pins, because we are hooking the X bands. So you have that so far, and now turn your loom around, do the same thing again. Push your bands down, and now the red dot should be on the left, and we're now going to continue on and do another one of these square bands, or the inside bands. Put a single band around all 4 pins, like that, and now we're going to grab the very bottom band, hook over. Remember, fishtail stitches whenever we hook inside bands. Like that. You can give your bracelet a little tug again, and you can start to see it forming. And the ends might be tucked in at first, and that does happen due to the hooking process, just because the order the bands are hooked in and stuff like that. But in the end, we will be pulling those out, so that way you get the full effect of a vortex running around your bracelet. So we're now going to continue on, and I'm going to go slightly faster, and I'm going to eventually stop after I do a couple more stitches with you guys. So red dots on the right, we're going to do an X band, or 2 X bands, vortex bands, like that. And since we have vortex bands on, we're going to do inverted fishtail stitches during the hooking process for this. Turn your monster tail around so the dot is on the left. And by the dot, I mean the red dot, by the way. Okay, so you should get something like that now. Now we're going to do square bands. And on the squares, we're going to do inverted fishtail stitches. Or, sorry, fishtail stitches. Confused myself there. Turn that around and hook fishtail stitches again, like that. I was going too fast for myself to remember what stitch we were doing. Okay, and it looks like I've got a piece of dust in there, but that's cool. So now we're going to do another set of X bands, and this is going to be the last round that I'll be showing you of the X and inside bands. So remember, when we do vortex bands, we're going to do inverted fishtail stitch, like that. Turn your loom around. Vortex bands again. Like that. So you should have something like this now, and sorry, my hook was blocking the way. Should get something like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do square bands, so the inside bands. Like that. And now when we do those bands, we're going to do regular fishtail stitches. So just grab the bottom band and pull over. or the bottom band and pull over like that. Give your bracelet a little tug and you can start to see the vortex forming. The rainbow bands are going to be my outer vortex, and then the white bands are the inside of the vortex. So you're going to continue all of those same processes until you get the full length of your bracelet. If you're still having trouble, then please go ahead and rewatch the previous instructions. If not, and if you're following along, go ahead and pause the video here, and I'm going to finish my bracelet and we can catch up together, and then I will be showing you how to take your bracelet off of your monster tail. Okay, so I am back with my completed bracelet, and it is a little bit crazy, but that's okay, we're going to fix it later. But first we are going to take this off of our loom. So I'm going to show you how to take it off. So on top I have the big inner band that's a square shaped, and on the bottom I have my X band. So make sure that you have your vortex bands on the bottom and then the inner bands on top, as in the layers. And now we're just going to pull the bottom band over on each pin. Like that. And now we're going to transfer all of the bands to one single pin. I'm going to use the top left pin. So I'm going to grab this bottom left band and hook it upwards to this band, or this pin. So you got something like that now. Now take the top right band, carefully transfer that to the pin at the top there. Got 3 bands there. And lastly, take this last band and put that over there. So you should have something like this now. So now I'm going to take a C-clip here, and I'm not using the monster tail C-clips that come with it. I'm just going to use a regular sized one. And then I'm going to slide that on to all of those bands there. And then carefully, after you make sure that all the bands are on the C-clip, then you can slide it off of the pin very carefully. I'm going to use my hook like that. So now what we want to do to this bracelet is we want to even out all the single chains so that way it looks like this here at the end. Now due to the hooking process, they get tucked in. So what you want to do is you want to pull them all out. So I'm going to start at the end, and I find it easier to start at the bottom of your bracelet, the opposite end of where your C-clip is. And this could take a while, so just be patient, and you just want to yank all this single chains out. That. So there you go. Like that. And so now I'm going to fast forward because this is going to take me quite a while to finish doing for my whole entire bracelet. So this is what I have now, and you just want to go through the whole entire bracelet once more and make sure everything is pulled. And by pulling it out, we've pretty much just accentuated and evened out all of the single chain stitches throughout this whole entire bracelet. So all we have left to do is just connect this C-clip to the opposite end and put it onto all of these loops here. Like that, and we are now done with this really cool vortex bracelet. So thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. This is kind of based off of my lacy end bracelet design, just because we just added lacy edges to both ends. And if you would like to learn how to make this on a rainbow loom, click on the link down below in the description box, and it will take you to a tutorial for that. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out, and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and also follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and Facebook. My links are all in the description box below, and also post any posts of Rainbow Loom things that you've created using my tutorials, and post them to the hashtag tutorialsbya so that way I can like and maybe comment on your picture. I am getting a ton of pictures, or I have been getting a lot more pictures lately, so it is very hard for me to like every single picture, so I do apologize if I don't get to yours, but I try my best to look through as many pictures as I can, at least, just so that way I can see what you guys have done. So fixing this link right here. So anyways, once again, thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!